Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Jalan coming back with another episode of the weekly recap. Today, currently, is January 14th, 2019, and this is going to be episode 54 of my weekly recap. Without further ado, let's get straight into it. This past week at work gone by just like any other week, right? Just doing a lot of testing and debugging and reviewing documentation of our work, getting ready for an upcoming release happening in a week or two. We do have Code Freeze coming up at the end of this week, so just getting everything ready for that to happen. So that's pretty much all I did at work, and the same old stuff. So just want to switch gear to some of the things I've learned this past week. I continue to read Principles. About 2/3 of the way there. Raid is giving a ton of knowledge and ton of insights. And the current chapters I'm reading is called Work Principles, and he is basically diving into some of the tools and techniques that he uses when searching for employees, as well as creating this culture and environment where there's radical transparency, there are honesty, there are just to openly create the ideal meritocracy, right? And how he was able to establish that within Bridgewater, and as well as some of the challenges that he encountered that you talked about were, when the company was smaller, and he was able to connect with his employee on a personal basis, and as I think that's one of the challenges with scaling a business, that you're becoming more. You have to employ a lot more people, and hence the company grows, and the amount of people grows, right? Number of employees grow, and therefore he talked about the challenges in that, where he's not able to connect with every single person on a regular basis to know their families and their stories. So, and how he's able to create some of the tools and the foundations to help keep the Bridgewater strong, throughout these whole years. And some of the tools that you use are dot collectors and baseball cards, where it basically is going through each employee and evaluating their strength and what they're good at. And then when it comes to thoughtful disagreement, and when it comes to a situation where they have to come up with solutions, that they gather all these different point of views from people, and then they use their metrics to value the believability and the effectiveness on different people's opinions, and ultimately come to a conclusion. And I think it's not necessarily a system where majority of votes will win. I think he is able to establish with the company culture and the meritocracies within Bridgewater, to where you don't have to be majority of the votes may not necessarily be the best solution to a problem. And he has all these different scenarios that he exampled out, which I thought was very, very helpful and very insightful and eye-opening. And there are tons of information in here. Like, I'm not even sure if I absorb everything. I'm kind of just breezing through from through the book and just trying to pick up as much as I can. But definitely will be revisiting it a lot more. And at the same time, as I was reading this, I'm kind of evaluating, what is my company culture like? Just from being there for almost half a year now, what are the things I like and what are the things I don't like, and how's it different compared to Bridgewater or anything like work culture in a big company, right? And I definitely see some of the challenges and some of the benefits. There are goods and bads on all things, right? And I think ultimately for what I'm good at and what my personality brings is that I think the big culture isn't something that I I adopt in or fit in very well. Um, I feel like my team hasn't been um, radically transparent or open minded and willing to help others until people are actually asking for help. Right? It's not very um, self motivating to where like yeah, I'm struggling with this, but then I have to ask for help. It's not like someone was like, "Oh, I see you struggling. I'm offering to help you. Like, I want to help you just because." It's not because you asked. So, I don't know. That is something I'm evaluating. I think to my personality, I do like the smaller culture a lot more. I like to get to know people. I like to be more than just like coworkers. Right? I want to hear their story, and I know that everybody's different. Um, People have kids and family at different stages of their life. Not everyone can do that. So, and which is one of the reasons why I started to maybe looking for other places as well. Ideally, a place where there are less, not too big, but yet to small enough to a point where I do feel like there is an opportunity for me to connect with everyone. I think relationship is what keeps us going. So that's kind of how it is on that side of things. And I want to switch gear to something else. Went out to a couple open houses and visited a couple properties this past weekend as well. I think I do like some of the places I do like better than others. However, I don't think I have the financial stability or I can financially make an offer yet. So, which is all right. I'm just out there looking. I'm picking out the things I like and things I don't, and really, there's always more opportunities, right? So I'm not too bummed out on what I miss. So I believe that there's always better ones. So I think another thing that I found interesting, when I was out there looking and talking to real estate agents, and particularly one woman, well, two women. So the first one was a woman who didn't have an American accent, and to me, something about me and the pattern I see is that whenever I talk with people who have an accent, like English accent or like Australian accent or whatever European accent, is that I find myself like wanting to talk in themes with that. Um, and I think the reason why I do that is my personality and the fact that I want to connect with people. I want to make that person feel like we have something in common so we can connect. And I think that is what compelled me to do that more than anything, aside from just fun, you know. Um, I don't know, something made me want to do that, and I think that aligns with my personality as well. So, and the second woman that I talked to, the moment I met her, her energy was super high. I can tell that was she was kind of like one of those person where like hey, what's up, bro? Like it's kind of like the voice of tone, right? Um, that when when you're talking to one of your homies, right? When we first met, and as we talk more about that, that goes back to the idea of just willingness to connect and finding and talking in themes, right? Connecting in themes and hearing people's stories. I think stories is what moves us forward. And as we talk more, I found out that she was an MMA fighter, which I thought was very fascinating. Um, and I just wanted to dive in more into that and really ask her, why she got into fighting, and then like how she became a real estate agent now, like when's her next fight and things like that. I thought that was very fascinating, and I think just my desire to like connect with people and wanted to know, people's stories. It fits, my personality super well. So that's kind of like my house experience so far this past weekend. And the last thing I want to touch on is the second week of basketball refereeing. I feel like I definitely make a lot more improvements this past week. With it being the second week, I'm definitely a lot have a lot more control and a lot more confident in my refereeing ability, and working under pressure is something that I wanted to get better at, obviously. And I think I made a lot more improvement and progress this past weekend, so I'm super proud of that. I'm looking forward to what else I can bring. I'm always looking for ways that I can grow and get better. And I think the things I do on the basketball will transition into the things that I do everything else. So that's pretty much that. That's all the things I want to touch on this week's weekly recap. I hope everybody had a fantastic weekend. And I love you guys, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.